Hey everyone, welcome to the Brand Boutique Elite Speaker Series. Today we have Joanna Lopez from Self-Made Girl Boss in the UK. We're super excited to have her on. We were having a bit of technical difficulties, but we are live now. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. I know you have multiple businesses. You're absolutely doing amazing on Instagram. You're connecting with different women bosses all over the world. So tell us a little bit about how you got started, why you started Self-Made Girl Boss, and some tips on how you really grew that Instagram following.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for having me and inviting me on your platform. And thank you for everyone that, will take their time to watch this live video and also afterwards. So thank you to everyone. So my name's Joanna Lopez. Farhana's completely right. I have multiple businesses. I live in the UK. I also lived abroad in Monte Carlo for many, many years, and soon came back to my home in the UK. And I started a business called Monaco Interiors. It's an interior design company. So my name's Joanna Lopez. Farhana's completely right. Just a little technical glitch. We like technical glitches. And just to make it more exciting. So Monaco Interiors is a company that I created. It's high-end residential. We soon did hotels and commercial and hospitality, some hotels such as the Marriott, Four Seasons, Radisson Blu. And then from that, I created another company, called Monaco Furniture. So Monaco Furniture is a bespoke service where we create furniture just for the clients. So we don't have a shop. It's not for the mass public. It's specifically tailored to our clients. And from there, I did some incredible projects. I did celebrity rappers, prime ministers. We traveled the world, and we still do. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, all our travels sadly have had to come to a stop. Nevertheless, we still do a lot of designs remotely, and we still connect with, all of our clients. While I was doing all these incredible projects, I also created a property portfolio, because the whole point is that I want to be able to have a quality of life, and that passive income for me was extremely important. So I understood from early on. I had some incredible mentors in my life. I talk about it in my masterclasses that I do on starting your own business, and that is two men of the 1% of the richest men in the world. And one of them was in Monaco and the other one was here in the UK. And they were really the ones that motivated me into starting my own business and gave me the tools that I didn't realize they were giving to me whilst I was being trained, So they always said, make sure that whatever you do and whatever your business is, that whatever money you're bringing in, that you are also investing in it, Because you just never know when a financial crisis can happen, when a virus like this, which, has never happened before, can literally wipe us off the map. And we want to make sure that we are always prepared. So that was something that was installed in me. And so I knew that I wanted to invest the money that I was making into property, Because I think property holds your money in a much better way than a bank does, and it can also double and triple your money after a certain amount of years, depending on the location that you've bought, etc., etc. So over the space of 4 years, I've now have a property portfolio of just over £2 million. And then I decided that I was doing so well with my businesses, and I created such a wonderful financially free life, where I was traveling, being able to enjoy my time with family, with friends, and really not having to stick to a 9 to 5 materializing other people's dreams, I was materializing my own, which is something that I really hope that everyone would just do and just take that jump and leap of faith and work on what they want to do by having that confidence and that courage and being consistent and having tenacity. So I created Self-Made Girl Boss. I'm not sure if you can see her. There she is, Self-Made Girl Boss. And Self-Made Girl Boss is about empowering women from all over the world. So I created an Instagram page about 2 years ago, and all I did was just post memes. That's all I did. It was like a little hobby for me. It was something that while I was going to sleep at night, I'd go onto this Self-Made Boss Instagram page and I'd just post something that was special to me. What happened was when the pandemic, really spread aggressively and we were all in lockdown, a lot of women were feeling very vulnerable, afraid. People didn't know what to think, and we just didn't know what was happening at the time. So I thought, this is the time that I'm going to really take Self-Made Girl Boss to a level that I've always secretly dreamed of. So what did I do? I began interviewing women, and before I did this, I reached out to women on Instagram and I was like, share with me your story. And they were like, well, I don't have a business. I don't really know what story I'm going to be sharing with you. And I was like, the story of your life. Just talk to me about who you are. And people were like, you want to know about me? And I was like, yes, I want to know about you. Because I know that every single one of us has a story to tell. And every single one of us is so important and so special, right? So that's what I did. And I was getting these stories, from Africa, from America, from Australia, from Singapore. And these stories were just literally multiplying by the day. And they were so amazing that I was like, I can't just publish these stories. I have to interview some of these women. So that's what I did. I began interviewing women every day and sharing, and these women were sharing these stories. So not only were they feeling incredibly motivated, they were feeling like, a weight had been released off their shoulders, but other women were listening to these women and resonating with them. And they too were feeling empowered, and they too felt strong, and they too wanted to be able to share their story that they were so afraid that people would laugh at them about. And then slowly, I started interviewing influencers and celebrities. And from there, it just really took off. And I managed to grow, a platform to just under 12,000 followers in a very short space of time.
That's awesome. I think that people, in this time that there was a lot of emotions, we're coming hopefully to the end of it. And things are getting back to normal slowly, but hopefully surely. And it's really great what you're doing, sharing people's stories and giving people a platform so that they feel as they are a part of a community. And if you guys are watching, the point that she did so well with connecting to other people on social media and actually having a genuine connection, because that's where you're really going to get more followers and build relationships and build your brand. So I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, we want a ton of followers and, just because they want followers, but it's really about getting the right followers that are aligned with your core values, your message, as well as building relationships and having genuine connection and actually communicating with these people. I have clients all the time that just want all these followers, and it's like, okay, great. Well, you can have all these followers, but that doesn't mean that they're going to just turn into sales. And it takes time to cultivate this process. It's not like you start a page with 0 followers and maybe you're 500 Facebook friends that follow you over. It's about really building those relationships and providing value. So you started off with memes. People love quirky comments and things that they really resonate with them. And also if you're providing great value. And since you come from a design background, all of your posts are, curated, and you have that kind of outlook. And on Instagram, that's super important. What would you say, are your top 3 tips on how you grew that following on Instagram?
Right. I think that, you kind of more or less said it yourself, you have to be authentic. It has to be genuine. Energy doesn't lie. We're all made of frequency, right? Deceit, lies, honesty, truth, love. And people can feel that even through an Instagram page. So, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your industry is, ensure that you put yourself in the position of the person that's going to be viewing it and really connect with your post and with the caption and with the hashtags. Really feel it. When you feel it from here and you seriously give it all of your energy, then that will create people to just occasionally, all of a sudden, it starts off very slowly. They'll be like, I love your page. Oh, thank you so much. I saw your post today and it really, it really resonated with me. And then it's 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, 15, and it grows. And it may grow small, but it's still growth, right? If you think about how many days we have in the year and how many, followers we can get in one day, by the end of the year, I'm sure that would be incredible organic followers. So that's definitely number one, that you have to be authentic and it has to be of value. And that even goes with business. Like if you any business that you want to make in life, you've got to give value, whether it's a service, whether it's a product. If you don't, you'll soon be losing customers or your clients won't be very happy. It's the same formula with Instagram. So that's tip number one. Tip number 2, which again you mentioned, I collaborated with so many people. Ideally, we all want to be able to collaborate with the ones that have 1 million followers, right? So that we can just be seen that much more. But I didn't look at it like that to begin with. I just thought every single person has, an element of organic followers. And even if one of their followers follows me, then that's just enough for me. I never looked at it with greed. I looked at it with patience. And I collaborated every single day. I was on someone's Instagram, whether they had 100 followers, 1,000 followers, or 1 million followers. I was there every single day. So collaboration, I think, should be tip 2. This is in no particular order, by the way. This is just how it's coming into my head because they're all really, really good. Tip number 3 is, and this is like a little bit of a hack. When you're about to post, right, take 20 minutes of your time to comment on other people's posts, like other people's posts, and say to Instagram, I'm active. I'm active right now, and I'm engaging here. I'm engaging with this person's post. I'm on this poll. I'm sending comments here. I'm liking comments there. Then after about 15, 20 minutes, post your post. And you will see how much more appearance you will have and how many more people will engage if you hadn't have done that. So those are my 3 tips.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. So hear that, guys. That's a really interesting hack. You're letting Instagram know that you are active and that you're on there. So when you post your post, and even if you're scheduling out your posts, so say your posts go out every single day at 11 a.m., right before that, 20 minutes before, let Instagram know that you're active. So even if those posts are going out automatically, you're still building that algorithm up to let Instagram know. And I love the first thing about being authentic. So my slogan is, it's all about the narrative and sharing your brand story. And whether your brand story being your personal story or about your products and services. And your story has a lot to do with your core values. And core values resonate with other people because people want to do business with people that they like, trust, and can relate to. And within that, if you're really sharing authentically, you're coming from a place of wanting to provide great value and not coming from a place like, I just want to sell something and shove it down your throat on sales. Like, obviously we want to sell something if it's for our business pages, but you want to use 80% great content that's going to resonate and 20% sales, so that of course you're making the sale and making the ask, because closed mouths don't get fed, so you need to make the ask. However, you want to provide great value so people feel as though they have a reason to come back to your page, whether it be beautiful photos, inspirational quotes, tips on whatever your industry is, freebies, things that are going to really kind of generate people wanting to come back and getting value from your page. And Instagram particularly, you want to make sure that you're using hashtags. You can geotag things. So in the posting of your stuff, sharing your authentic voice, sharing yourself, sharing your brand story is super important. And then the second part that you shared was awesome too. Like it's about us building these relationships. So when I go on panels, people ask, it's like kind of a standard when you're on a panel, what book would you recommend? And people expect me to say something that is more modern and very specific to digital marketing. But I generally say Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, because on social media, remember, there's social in that word, and people forget that. And it's really important for us to be social, build those relationships. And of course, we want to connect with influencers that have a ton of followers, but also too, we can connect with people that are like-minded, that we can build and grow with as well. So don't look at it as you just need to have the next, Instagram influencer. It's, who in your space or who in your world can you partner with and collaborate with and grow with too. So there's so many different ways. And those are I think, the three. I love that hack. So if you guys are tuning in now, the hack is to engage 20 minutes prior to posting, and collaborate, connect. And even if you are tagging other people's photos in your feed, that's a great way to connect and collab too. And that's very easy. You don't really have to do much planning of that. And then, really sharing your authentic voice. And I think people sometimes are like, oh, well, I'm afraid of what people think, or should I post this? And the way that I look at it is, I have a lot of clients that have these concerns too. And when you're contributing to the world, when you're sharing your knowledge, when you're sharing your tips, it's a contribution. And without your sharing, the world's missing something. And so when you look at it as that you're a contribution to the world, and what you're sharing is going to help somebody else, I think it's way easier to get over, how is it going to look? What are people going to think? Feelings. Because I think as humans, we all kind of feel like that. What would you say, when people are like, oh, well, I'm scared to share, or, even people coming on Self-Made Girl Boss, have you had any people with concerns like that?
It's funny you should say that. And for those of you that are watching, if you go onto my Instagram page right now, today I did a post and I said, reminder everyone, not everyone has their stuff together. We are all trying to work it out. You've got to adopt this mentality that just earn while you learn, right? No one knows it all. Okay, some people know more than others, and it's great to receive advice, and it's great to follow the people that have made it, right? Because obviously they've made it for a reason in whatever their industry is. And it's good to be able to grab that formula and adapt it to yourself. But understand something, that when they started, they didn't know it all, and I didn't know it all. And I'm still learning, and there are just so many things, even with you, Farhana, before, with technology, it's like, you want to do this, you want to do that. And apparently you can if you do X, Y, Z, but it's not happening. Listen, guys, it's cool. Be chilled, okay? Believe in yourself, right? If you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you. And if you want to believe in yourself, there is only one thing that is going to help your confidence, and that's investment in yourself. Read books, study your industry, You know, give your brain the food that is required in order for it to grow. Do not be so hard on yourself. If we didn't make mistakes, then we wouldn't learn. It's unfortunately a catch-22. It's just the way the world goes round. You have to feel pain. You have to make mistakes in order to be able to level up. So do not fear it. Embrace it. And once you know that this is going to happen, then that's fine. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I've never known a quitter to win. So don't quit.
Yeah, I love that. And it's, you know, we all share a story on social media, but we don't share the moments where we look like a hot mess, like cleaning the bathroom, or when I was up to 4:30 last night working on a web page and then there was a technical glitch and it all disappeared.
Right.
You know, like we don't share those moments because you're in the moment fixing whatever fire there is. And so I think people have a tendency to be like, oh, that their lives look so perfect and amazing. But of course, we're only going to show the good moments. And not because we're being fake, but a couple reasons. I don't like to share negative things on social media just because I don't want to put negativity into the world. And even if I'm feeling crummy, like I don't want to put that in the space of anybody else. I want to share positivity. And also too, you know, when I was younger, I used to do events and promotions, and even if I was having a bad day, I would put on a smile and be like, all right, hi, like we're going to be lovely today. And when you shift your brain to think that I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be lovely today, your brain starts thinking it and it starts forgetting about the crummy day. And so it's all about your mindset and making sure that you turn on whatever like switch that you want to create how the day is going to look for you, how the world is going to look for you. And what you said, quitters, you never saw quitters like win. There's so many people that are like, oh, well, we want X. And it's like, well, what are you doing to get X? You have to put in the work to get there. And this maybe someday when I have enough of, quite frankly, you'll never have enough of. It's just about like going out there and diving right in. Because when you're an entrepreneur, it's sink or swim and you have to dive in. If you stay at the edges, you're never going to fully achieve your dreams. So it's all about like diving in and getting the information that you need. So this is social media 101 right here, the tips that we're giving you. And I offer masterclasses, you offer masterclasses on how to build your business. So there's so many resources out there, and finding the right coaches that you resonate with, the people that you really feel like, okay, like they get me. I want to work with them. I like their vibe. I like their style. Those are the people that you want to have in your circle. You want to sign up for their workshops, go on any kind of networking circles that they have. I would not have gotten so far in my career if I didn't have a business coach. So I paid lots of money early in my career so that I could have the guidance and the connections to get where I am right now. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have gotten this far. And so like my piece of advice is if you're really passionate about what you want to do, you want that financial freedom, you want to travel whenever you want, well, when we can travel, and like live the life that you love, that truly makes you happy, you know, invest in yourself, like invest in the coaches that are going to get you there, invest in your team that's going to get you there quicker. It feels so good. Like I have a team, I have people that I collaborate with, people that I partner with, people that I pay for coaching, and all of that makes my life so much easier, and it makes it so much easier for me to scale my business. And when I was first starting, I was super scared of investing in all of that. The money that I invested in that, it was very scary. But like now, I'm so glad that that happened, because I wouldn't have been able to get this far this quick without that.
Absolutely. You know, I also had mentors. I was privileged because my mentors, I worked with them and they trained me, and I didn't have to invest in a coach. But that's the reason why I set up Self-Made Girl Boss, because I thought, hold on a second, there's a reason why I have spent the last 15 years with these two incredible men. So it's up to me to be able to pass that information on how it is to do it, right? Because how bad is it that I'm learning and that I've managed to master it and I do not share? Because I genuinely believe that, one of the biggest keys to success is to give. The more you give, the more life gives to you. It works, it's magic. And I always say to everyone, don't ask me how that works. It's just science, it's energy, it's the universe. And if you don't believe me, then try it. And something else is gratitude. When you are feeling negative, when you feel that you can't do something, when you've had enough and when you're frustrated, I think that one of the most incredible tools to be able to counteract that is to be grateful for where you have got to be grateful for where you are as a person, that you can see, that you can breathe, that you're living. And once you do start training your brain to think like that, it's a really good coping mechanism for you to be able to really be strong and continue with that confidence, because no one said it's going to be easy. You've got to take the jump, and when you do the jump, there's going to be a few cuts and bruises along the way, but I promise you that, like Steve Harvey said, who I find him hilarious, your parachute will eventually open and you will be soaring.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we're soul sisters. I cannot wait to travel again to come and visit you. Well, when the world starts letting Americans come back.
Hopefully soon. But you know what? Funny you should say that. We have a part in the United Kingdom which has gone back into lockdown. So I hope that this is not the beginnings of another lockdown.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. I feel like everywhere is like up and down. But hopefully things are getting better. And even with that being said, things are going on lockdown. This is the perfect opportunity for people to work on their marketing plan, work on their business plan, really do amazing digital marketing, because everyone's online. Everyone is there sitting in front of their computer, and people want connection, because we can't be with the people in real life as much anymore. So people want that connection. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to get that sorted and build their business. You don't want to wait for, oh, well, when we start getting more customers, it's like you're not going to get more customers until you have more brand awareness and you're doing effective marketing and you have a structure. This lockdown was kind of, I speak on stages all across the world and I love doing that. But this little break that I had to be stuck at my home wasn't terrible, because I accomplished so many things. I connected with so many different people online. Whereas it's different, yeah, when you meet them and shake their hand in person. But I still did the same amount of not the same amount, but I still did a super ton of connecting online. So it wasn't so much of a difference. I still did workshops online. I still, made friends online. So I think people should look at this as an opportunity. And the way the world is going, everyone does research online. So you want to make sure that your businesses are findable, that you have a consistent brand message, that you're sharing yourself authentically. And I think too, people want more connection, and they want to feel more in their purchases. People, I think, yeah, of course, there's certain items that you need because you have a problem, and toothbrushes. You'll always need a toothbrush or toothpaste, something basic like that. But there also, those brands are coming from a community basis. I use a Gobi, and I got it in pink. It's electronic, and they had really good marketing, and that's why I bought it. And so, it's because they were easy to find online. They send me the head automatically. So everyone should be using this time to figure out how they can really grow their brands online and create systems so that they have a structure when things go back to normal, that they already have it set up and it's autopilot.
Absolutely.
I have a little quirky question that I ask everyone. So if you could be a superhero, what would your 2 superpowers be?
Wow. That's a wonderful question. So if I could be a superhero and I'm allowed 2 powers,
Mm-hmm.
one would be to heal. So the power of healing. My doggy passed away on Friday, so I was really upset and I was just like, I wish I could have healed him. So definitely healing. And the second would be to control anxiety. I think that people allow their imagination to run too wildly and create unnecessary fear that paralyzes our potential.
Yeah.
Those would be my 2 superpowers.
When I was on your show, your question was, if you could change anything in the world, what would you change? Which I thought was a really great question. And I hadn't ever really thought of that. And so what I shared was, helping people control and recognize their self-limiting beliefs. And we all have them. There's always moments where we're like in a funk, or we're just like, oh, am I going to be able to pull this off? Or how am I going to get to this next point? Or, we all have some thought that comes into our minds. And so it brings anxiety when we have these negative thoughts. And so that's kind of similar to that. Imagine a place where everyone could control their anxiety, can like recognize their self-limiting beliefs and just be like, okay, those are just feelings right now. Like, let's move to the next thing. Like, okay, great. Thank you for sharing, brain. Now we're going to do amazing things and leave all of that to the wayside. I think it's just a human thing, and we all do it. Even the people that are super successful and are like, we all are like, wow, they're like killing it in the game. Everyone as a human has like these moments where they don't feel like sunshine and butterflies.
Exactly. I mean, it happens, it happens to all of us. But I think that we need to find the way to control our brains. We only use something like, what is it, 5% of our brains? Like, it's insane. I think dolphins use 10%. I've never managed to get my head around that, but apparently they do. I mean, they can speak to one another from literally miles away. And it just goes to show that if we can just educate ourselves, we can really start hitting different dimensions. And one of them for sure is to be able to control your emotions and to control fear.
Yeah. If you had any piece of advice for your younger self, what would you say to, if you could, be kind of a wrinkle in time and go back and talk to your younger self, what would be like a quick tip that you would give?
Slow down, enjoy. Time flies so much. I just can't believe that, I'm the age that I am, and I wish I could go back 20 years time and just be like, you don't need to rush. Stop rushing to grow up. Stop rushing to, be someone. Like, just take it, enjoy every single moment, and have high integrity. Like, really love yourself and really understand that there is no other you in this world, and that you are incredibly special, because all of you are.
I love that. That's super helpful. I think that, sometimes we don't enjoy the journey, and there's always so much to do. I'm always so busy, and I try to stop myself and be like, okay, this is fun. I'm going to enjoy the journey, and I'll try to insert things in so that I'm like, okay, now we're going to play, we're going to have fun, we're going to enjoy this moment. So that is awesome advice. And I think
you got to remember, if you live in the past, that's depression. If you live in the future, that's anxiety. all you've got to do is live in the now, right? Really in the now. And especially nowadays, we just get so carried away with the things that we're doing that we forget to look at something or someone who's very beautiful that we love so very much, who could be sitting next to us, asking advice, asking questions, just wanting our attention. And yet we're getting carried away in things that are superficial, when in reality, you know, I can assure you that no one's getting out alive. So, you know, we've got to really make sure that we value and love the things around us.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you so much for being on, and thank you all for being watching our show. We're very grateful, and we hope that these tips will help you grow your business and brighten up your day. Bye.
Bye.